Well, hello and welcome to Of Life and Land. This game is going to be in early access and this video should be going out on the day that this game is released into early access. I got a free code from the dev. Thank you so much. Everything, my thoughts in this video are going to be my own. I just got a code. They didn't ask me for anything else. So yeah, let's go ahead and get started here. If I can actually hit it, of course. Oh. The year is 1012. Kurzoven. I think that's how you pronounce that. An untouched, almost uninhabited region on the edge of the empire. In other areas of the country, villages and towns are growing fast. So fast that space soon becomes scarce. Real division leaves heirs without land and property. We still have room here and we could use the people. This is our chance. Let's invite them and create a thriving region worth living in. Kurzoven. So basically the story is you have some land and you need people and therefore you build a town. Okay, so first things first here real quick, if I zoom into the options, you can kind of see like what the game's gonna look like. I have up to the UI scale. It starts at 1 and it is way too tiny. Also, the game does have a streamer mode. All music tracks are licensed, but obviously some things are a problem. And it does have mod support as well. We're gonna start a new game, and I'm basically just gonna skip the story because there is a story, but I don't really want to deal with that right now. Okay, so there's a tutorial here. For the record, there is a wiki. I would say the wiki is not completed right now, and the tutorial in-game is bare bones. Don't take that as a bad thing. It is just a thing. Alright, so what I want to do is actually, let me go ahead and let me show you around real quick here. Also, there's going to be like a quest and tutorial stuff over here. We'll talk about that in a minute, but most of it's just like, here's how you rotate the map and maybe, you know, buildings and stuff like that. Let's take a look at what we have on the map. So we have things like trees, we have bushes, we have grasses that give different things. Most of this is it's a low poly game, so it makes sense. Oh, we have a wild wheat over here. We have things like, we have no rocks over here. We do have some stones. This is a path right here, by the way, as you can kind of see. There's tin deposits over here. Oh, there's animals. This animal is sleeping. We got red deer. If you click on things, things will pop up. For like example, here we've got this red deer. Has an overall, like, you know, here's its energy reserves. Here's the temperature influence. Here's does it need sleep, how old it is, if it's in a group. This one, most like herd animals create a group, where its home is, and then it's got needs. We'll talk about needs in a minute, but needs, and then effects, which is basically like, you know, what is it, mating season, when it does that sort of thing, varying other details as well as genetic stuff. I'm not really gonna address too much of that in today's episode because I don't really care. We're not gonna really get into that, but that is a thing. We have little humans in here. Where are you going? They also have the same thing, genetic stuff, needs, which are far more important for the humans right now, and then other overview. And well, let's look at some of the items that we can plop down. We'll talk about needs and stuff as we go. So there's a few different things when it comes to constructing buildings. We've got resources, production, community, fences and walls, plants and fields. Now the plants and fields and the fences and walls, which also includes decorations, are set. Like those, they don't unlock anything new as you go on, so there's that. But these do. You've got 5 different progression levels, which has different complexities. So we start out with like a gatherer shack, and then later on we get a farm. Both of them gather and store products. The gathering hut is less effective and does less than the farm does. So as you go down the track, as you would expect, you get better things. Resource stuff includes things like food, wood, stone, fish, other things like there is a hunting lodge and stuff like that. So that sort of thing. For the production, you have stuff like, you know, making different foods like bread. Later we get milk, clothing. Better clothing is down the track. How to, you know, make grain into flour, and then, you know, wood into things like planks. Community streets and services are things like houses. In this case, we've got huts right now, but later we'll have cabins and whatnot. Campfires where people can chill, and streets, which is also down here. So you have different ways of getting to that, which is actually kind of nice. And then eventually it's things like cathedrals and mansions and monasteries and other fancy things that we will need to unlock. Okay, so let's go ahead and start out by checking the journal here. This is one of the only things that I actually don't like about the game as of right now is the quest stuff, and I will show you why in a little bit. But right now we just have basically, hey, we've arrived here. Now to start the game out, and in fact, anytime you reach a new level, really what you want to do is build everything. And that seems a little excessive to me, but basically your guys are going to throw a little bit of a fit if you don't. So I'm going to go ahead and plop this gathering hut over here. For the forester's stump, let's see here. It's a little bit of a distance. I'm going to go ahead and plop it up here. So there is a little like stream there, and they do have to walk a little bit, but there is a lot up here. So I'm going to go ahead and put it, here. That should be good. The stonemason, there's a couple places for stones. First of all, there's some stones up here. This is where I'm going to pull up this one here. But later on, there is actually, this is the only map, by the way, for right now. There is an editor for map, but this is like the only map that is given to you to start with. So just a heads up on that. But up here, we do have quarries and tin deposits. We'll put some stuff up there eventually, but I want to start off a little closer so that we're not walking quite as far. And then for fishing place, I think there are fish down here, so we can put a fishing place in this general vicinity so that they can do some fishing, because we're going to need food, like significant amount of food once winter comes. Okay, so let's go ahead and build some paths as well. One of the big things, paths are pretty important. People don't like walking through nature. They do prefer paths. Do the paths let you walk faster? I want to say a little bit more pleasant. I think they do. I think it makes it a little bit easier to get around if you use that. Okay, so we do want to build a campfire as well. So I'm going to go ahead and put that here. When it comes to straw huts, this one, they offer, actually, I'm going to start letting it run so people start doing stuff. So straw huts offer accommodation for 2 people. We have 10 people, 10 of which are homeless right now. So we're going to go ahead and plop this down. Now, as you saw there, that sheep just stole stuff from us, which I'm not entirely sure how to get it to stop doing that, but it is actually a thing that happens on the regular. Yeah, they're little thieves. All right, we're gonna put the tailor down here, and then I'm gonna put the simple oven. Oh, again, the sheep is stealing stuff. That's rude. And the hand mill, we're gonna put those right here. So that'll give us bread. That will give us cloth, sewing, or for a sawing place, not sewing place. I'm gonna put that here, a little bit of a distance away. That will give us firewood and planks, which we are definitely going to need. And then on top of it, I'm going to go ahead and make sure that we've got some garden beds over here so that we have food being produced as well as grass. So let's go ahead and zoom out. This is all the stuff we've placed. I would say just basically plop it all down all at once. I don't know if that's, the forester stump is done, by the way. I don't know if that's really the best way to do it, but it is a way that I have done things, and it seems to be pretty, I mean, your people are going to complain regardless. Now, once you get something done here, can I focus on this? Thank you. Okay, so up here we have the forester's stump. As you can see here, they're cutting down trees and getting raw wood, branches, and mushrooms. In here, you'll see you have one person working, which is Matilda. You can fire them. You can allow positions to be filled once vacant. Let's go ahead and fire her for right now. And then what you'll see is somebody will fill, maybe they won't. But what you can also do is go in here and actually select somebody to fill that in, and then they will start working on that. So that'll be really, really good. Let's go ahead. I'm gonna fill this in like that. And I'm also going to give us a little bit of a pathway through here. And we're just gonna fast forward. So they have this, for this particular type of simulation, it has a simulation speed of 300 times the base. So the base is, this is the base. It's actually rather slow. And then 300 is the max. As you can see here, we have a whole bunch of people that are currently cold. And actually they're kind of injured because they're cold. It's because we don't have any cloth or anything right now, and it is close to the beginning of spring when it is a little chilly. So they're gonna go over to the fire to warm up, though it doesn't look like we have any firewood right now, which is gonna be okay. I don't think anybody will die right now. And you can see, actually, it's got a little icon over it. Let me zoom in here. It says, what the hell is going on? So if you come in here, it says there's no fuel. That's because we're not quite done with building everything. It actually looks like somebody is sick. Are we gonna lose somebody right off the bat? It looks like we might. Interesting. Probably not great. Oh, it looks like they're doing a little bit better now that they've moved closer to the fire in here. Let's go ahead and fast forward a little bit again. It's like the garden beds have been completed. The stonemason is now done. They are up here. This is going to produce stones, just rough stones for us. Again, only one person can work here. I'd really like this to be done. All right, so it looks like the sawing place, the hand mill, and the baker's simple oven are all complete. So these eventually, I don't care about the freaking rabbit. This will create bread. The hand mill will create flour from cereal grains, which come from these wild wheat things. So that is actually really good. Let's go ahead and just fast forward a little bit. And having that campfire finally done is actually really good. So the fishing place and the gatherer shack is now done. Now, one of the things about like the gathering shack is you can see here, there's actually space for 3 people, but only 2 are active. And I'm gonna turn that third one on. Food is gonna be like one of the biggest things about the game that's actually kind of a problem in the early game. You can rename the settlement up here, and also if you press on F or press on these 2 little people down here, it'll pop up with like a population, which will tell you like everybody needs a home and rags, because we haven't quite built a tailoring spot yet. Here's what we have in storage. Here's the census of what's going on. Looks like we have a lot of rats on the map and deer, and here's what buildings we currently have created. And it wants us to create huts right now, which is what we are working on. Additionally, there is a map here. And here's where we are, and there are 4 other locations that we can eventually unlock. And we will get there. We're not even close there yet. Okay, so it looks like we've got our first hut, as you can see here. This gives 2 people a space to sleep. Then there are some upgrades. We haven't talked about upgrades. If you pay that cost, so down here it says yearly cost 40 grass. If you pay that, then what you will get is comfort plus 10. You can share home with a pet. You can get more restful sleep, and these little huts can only get 1 upgrade, but other buildings in the future will have more. And it looks like our tailoring is ready. Our tailoring table is good to go. We can only have 1 person working here. It's okay. Let's go ahead and just fast forward a little bit. I do want somebody working here. Okay, let's go ahead and select. I'm gonna make Sylvia work here. I don't really get a choice in the matter. But we need supplies, and that's actually what it's popping up to say. It's like, hey, I don't have supplies for this. And that's because it needs grass or wool, which we need some of. What I'm gonna do is I'm gonna come over here and I'm gonna increase the priority for finding grass to be one of the top 2, because we definitely need that. We need a lot of grass. And in fact, I think grass is one of like the biggest things that we're going to struggle with having, which is a real pain, unfortunately. All right, I saw that. Somebody just created some fabric, I thought. No? No, I guess. All right, 2 more huts have been completed, so people are finally getting houses, so that's good. I think we need 1 more house. There it is. All right, so everybody is now housed. and they should actually start working on fabrics and stuff. It's actually going to be very important for them to do, unfortunately. Fabric is going to be something that we're going to need for the winter months, and it's really important. Also, as of right now, though, everybody is overheating because it is currently the middle of summer. I don't understand why when I hover over this that it just says season. I feel like this should populate which season it is, even though it's pretty obvious. I still feel like that you just need to say like, oh, summer. And then once this little arrow hits over here, it'll be fall. But it doesn't currently do that. That's something that I would change. All right, so we just had rough rags made, so that's really good for us. Now, if we open up that faction bar one more time, as you can see here, everybody needs... You own a home. What's wrong with you? Everybody owns a house, but everybody needs rags in order to move on. So let's go ahead and just fast forward a little bit. People are going to continue to gather stuff. I think we're still doing pretty good. We got a lot of stuff over here. Let's go ahead. I don't want that there. I'm going to build this way. Build some pathways to be a little closer to the gathering shack. I really don't like the fact that our sheep are stealing stuff, because that's actually going to be a huge problem at wintertime, because they think they're stealing food, because of course they are. Okay, let's see how we're doing now that we've let things pass a little bit. Looks like we have pretty good coverage for everything except for those rags again. I think, let's see here, what do we have? Processing speed, unfortunately we don't have bronze tools. Collection speed uses rags, and storage uses wood. Let's go ahead and do that, just so I can show off. So what's going to happen is they're going to deliver some rough wood to that, and that's what's going to happen. Is you saw that popped up, so now we have storage +2, so there'll be a little bit more to store in there. That'll be really good for us. So now these can store a max of 5 rather than a max of 3. All right, so let's go ahead and slow everything down for a moment. We just reached level 2, prosperity level 2. And the reason we did that is you can see here that people have started into their level 2. So these guys are all level 1, but these guys are level 2. And that's actually really good for us. So, but something popped up. Up here it says show task. And it says where to put dirt. A settler approaches you with a wrinkled nose. Good day, I've noticed an increasingly unpleasant odor in the village. It would be nice if there was a place to dispose of waste and manure, preferably somewhere outside the village. Find a suitable place and build a cesspit. Consider the direction of water flow. Basically, I think if you put it close to water, I want to say it probably, I actually don't know. I guess we're just going to find out, but we've unlocked a whole bunch of stuff. So let's build that cesspit first. That's going to be in community streets and services, and I'm just going to plop it down here. May not be the best place for it, but I think it'll be okay. And we've unlocked the community center, the small cabins, an open dairy, which basically makes dairy products, a pottery workshop, a well, a simple barn, and a hunting lodge. So the first thing I'm going to do is I'm going to go ahead and build a simple barn, because we're going to need that. And the next thing that we are actually going to build is going to be the community center. This is going to be super important to have, and it's going to cause a lot of issues if we don't have it. And they tend to throw, the people that you have tend to throw a little bit of a fit if you don't have the things that they want. So yeah, we're going to go ahead and get this settled. Where do I want to put this though? Yeah, you know what, this will be fine. It's going to take a ton of materials, so let's go ahead and just fast forward through this. Can you stop stealing stuff? As you can see up here, by the way, this is how many days that our stored food is going to last, and we only have 1.7, which is drastically decreasing, which is a big problem. We have another task. A family knocks on the door. Hey, so we have our first immigrants. We're going to go ahead and accept them in, and we're going to get 4 people to join us. This is set like every single time you play a game, these things will happen, so just so you know. And the other thing I'm actually going to do is I'm going to put another gathering hut up here, because we're going to need more supplies ultimately. And then I'm going to fast forward and you can kind of watch everybody delivering stuff. So let's see here. This takes... Oh. Ah, I see. We're just completing some of the tutorial quests and stuff. Let's just go ahead and fast forward a little bit. So as you can see here for the gathering shack, we have some raw wood, but we still need a bunch of branches. And it also went to fall. So if I take a look around, also look at the sky. You can turn off the day-night cycle, by the way. Looks like we need a bunch of branches. For this, we need a whole bunch of supplies. And also for the cabin over here, which we're going to be creating, we also need a ton of supplies. So something to keep in mind. As you go, you're constantly going to need more and more supplies and things. It looks like we are short on grass because of course we are. But let's go ahead and just let everybody go. I'm hoping we can complete a couple things before the season changes. Ooh, we're kind of in trouble here. Okay, here's what I'm gonna do. I'm actually gonna remove the community center. It's important to get the community center done, but because of where we're at right now, I'm a little concerned about food, as you can see, and I'm a little concerned about cold, which is going to be a Taylor issue. Okay, so gathering shack, the simple barn, and the cesspit are now all done. So the barn here can house sheep, and in fact we have 3 sheep. The sheep are going to give us wool and milk. Maybe not that sheep. We have... that's fine. We have some sheep. So that's going to give us wool, which will be really useful for creating rags from that. Additionally, we have the other gatherer shack up here, which people are working in, so that'll be really good because we're going to need those supplies pretty much stat. We have a lot of people. Oh, there we go. So we finally got our cabin built, so everybody now has a home again, which we definitely need before winter. So let's go ahead and just move forward a little bit. What is this? Oh, we have a water issue. So in order to solve that, let's go ahead and just plop a well down here. The well doesn't take too much to build and should not take that long, but we do want to get that done because people will get thirsty and they will die. Okay, the well has been completed, so that should allow everybody to get some water and solve that problem. Looks like we have somebody who's unhappy. What is your problem? Looks like we have a food issue for them, though. No, I think you're fine. They want a community center and they need clothes, which both of things we're currently working on getting. And in fact, let's take a quick look at our faction. Looks like, I don't know why they're starving. Where are you? I don't know. I don't understand what their problem is. Maybe they're just far away. I'm not sure. They'll get there. Looks like we have plenty. Most of everybody has some sort of clothing items, so that's good. Winter just happened. We do not have a way to make a better tailor, but that's okay. So we have their first winter, and hopefully we will survive the season. I think we will be okay. One of the things I do want to do now that we are here in this season is build a hunting lodge. Now the hunting lodge will allow us to hunt, and we want to do what I would call minimal hunting in this because part of the thing is all the critters in the world are also simulated, so I think they have children and whatnot as well. We have a cold problem. Do you not have clothes? You don't have clothes. Again, that's a problem. But it does look like rags are being created, and as is wool, so we should be having stuff be created. Part of the problem is because your people work kind of independently and you're not telling them what to do, they have a tendency to just focus on things that they don't need to be focused on. Also, it looks like all the rabbits and stuff are cold. Well, that sounds like a personal problem. You're rabbits. Just moving things forward here. Let's take a quick look. Ooh, we have somebody who's sick. No, they're not sick. They must be close to dead. Well, I think we're gonna lose Vincent. Yes, we did. We just lost Vincent. He was okay. I'm not entirely certain I will be honest, I'm not entirely certain how to like stop people from dying your first winter. I haven't quite figured that out. Let's take a quick look at the census. Looks like rats are on the downswing. Red deer are doing okay. Looks like everybody's on the downswing, to be honest. But it looks like we are doing all right. Let's see. Are we actually getting any sort of like fish? Not the bush. Where's the fishing location? Did I not stick one of those down here? It looks like we did. It looks like we do have meat down there. We have food. Do we not have a way to cook the meat? Is that part of the problem? To be honest, I don't know. Let's move forward a little bit. Now it looks like we're gonna lose somebody else. They have clothing and stuff, but they're... Yep, we just lost somebody else. Oh goodness, we lost Petra this time. Probably not for the best. We do have space now, at least. That sounds terrible. I think one of the things is I'm just not as confident with this first year. I don't know if there's like a good way to like set things up, or I don't know. Let's go ahead and just start building that community center. We have a lot of stuff that we need, so let's go. We're almost to the first spring, so things should start warming up at least a little bit. At least I'm assuming so. Down here, by the way, there are like heat maps and stuff. Oh, I didn't mean to do that. That's okay. It's like where water is, where dirt is. Oh, there's a bunch of deer over here. Let's see. What does this do? Oh, we can actually see where things are, by the way. Colors the world based on the map. Ooh, very cool. So you can kind of see where things are if you need to. It's not anything that I particularly care about right now, but it is something that you can play with. So let's go ahead and get this community center done if I can. Okay, so the next year has happened and we have a new task. We have two new tasks. We have new seeds. There's a village not far from you that needs help. Apparently their seeds have gone bad and they desperately need new ones. All right, we'll accept that. In order to do that, we need to give them some cereal grains and a reason to celebrate. A year ago, we arrived here in Kezrovin. I don't think that's right. We achieved so much since then. All right, let's go ahead and accept this. And let's just go forward because we are still trying to complete this community center at this point. As you can see here, we are starting to gather some seeds for our neighboring friends. Let me go ahead and slow down a minute here because the other thing I actually do want to put down is going to be some wheat fields. That way we actually have production of wheat, obviously. That'll make things a little bit easier to gather. All right, and additionally, we did unlock... Oh no, we didn't. Never mind. I'm gonna build another small cabin here so that we have people moving over. I think the cabins are better than the huts, so obviously we want to make sure that we do that if we can. We're pretty close to getting the community center done. It's like we have some issues with the gather shack not having places to gather, I'm assuming? Let's go ahead and make some space so that we have some people being able to do other things. How are we doing here? We still need some rags and some stone, which we are working on up there. Look at everybody go. I love it at this speed, just watching everything move. We are almost to summer already. That is not great news for me. If we can get the community center built, we can actually bring more people in because we will have immigration, which is why I'm trying to get that taken care of. Oh, come on. We just need those rags. That is like I said, the rags and the cloth and the fabric have been the hardest thing that I have had to do because it just seems like an issue. See, we have wool down here. So why are we not transporting it over here? Well, we do have our other cabin done, so that's good. So let's see here. Is Sylvia a problem? She's at 100. So maybe... let's set Dennis up over here and see if Dennis can figure that out a little bit better. Oh, it sounds like our community center is now built. We'll talk about that in a second. And we have some immigration. So let's go ahead and invite somebody else in here. Hello, Peter. And we do now have the community center. But what we can also do now is if I click on M, if I look here, I can now get some different locations that are discoverable. And the first one we want to do is actually this one. It takes 10 bread and a bunch of work effort. But basically, they will start to do that. And we want to get that done for a variety of reasons. And it looks like we actually were able to celebrate as well. So that works great for us. Food is still an issue. We're going to have to work on that. And it looks like we have reached level 3 as well. Let's take a quick pause here. I want to go ahead and grab that person that we just invited. Oh, we got a couple people that we can invite, which is actually really good for us because we do need those people to start working on stuff. And we unlocked the next group of things. We've unlocked farms, the simple smelter, the forester's lodge, the fishery. But we've also unlocked things like the bronze, copper and bronze forge, the tailor shop, the carpenter's workshop, a bakery, and some other cool things in here, including the sweeping station, which allows us to clean. So what I want to do, kind of to show off, is I actually want to find the next area because there's a reason for that. But also, let's see, I'm going to put down the forester's lodge over here. So the forester's lodge allows us to find other things besides, so here we've got trees, mushrooms, and branches, but the forester's lodge is going to be a little bit more useful. And I think it's got more, like, what's the word I'm looking for? People. I think it has more employees, which would be really good for us. And the other thing we did unlock is we did unlock the farm, which allows us to, it does more than the gathering shack does. As you can see here, there's only, like, it's kind of small. I think if you hover over it, it kind of shows you where it works. But the farm is a little bit bigger and does a little bit more. So we're going to want to do that. Additionally, if I click on I people, not you. Who's on 3? Stefan's on 3. You can now see what he wants. So he's going to want to be able to pursue his faith. He wants to have kids. He's going to want to have practical clothing. And he's going to want to drink something else other than water. So we're going to want to build some of that stuff. So we have things like the tap room. Now, the thing with the shrine, though, as you may notice, is that we need copper bars, but we do not have copper on this map. Actually, let me zoom out here while these things are going on. If I come up here where there's some quarries, I showed this earlier, there's some tin deposits, but it's not copper. So where do we get copper? Well, we'll get there. We're not quite there yet. So let me go ahead and fast forward a little bit here. One of the things I do want to build kind of right off the bat is going to be the tailor shop. Let's see, where do I want to put this? I'm going to put this down here. I think that'll be a reasonable space for it. Let me go ahead and just do that. We have somebody who's unhappy. Who's unhappy? Oh, it's Dennis. Probably because of the clothing and the faith issue. Yeah, I'm not too surprised with that. We're just gonna have to deal with it for right now. Cat. Huh. Actually, a lot of people are upset now. Look at that. We have like a whole group of people who are just angsty right now. Clothing and faith being the two issues that we haven't quite dealt with. Also, we have somebody who can immigrate in, so I'm gonna go ahead and select that. Food is now what I would consider like a big problem. So let's go ahead. I'm going to build. And it seems kind of silly to go back a little bit and get gathering huts, but they're kind of cheap. And we're gonna build more other stuff up here. Let me go ahead. I'm gonna build one up here as well. And what'll happen is they will create more jobs for people so that we will get food, which is something we desperately need since winter is coming again. Don't worry too much because we will get there. Okay, so we just got another task. Now, one of the things I don't currently like about this is when the tasks happen, the bell rings, and it pops up on the top left. But for me, I tend to get distracted rather easily, and then I hear the bell, but it doesn't register that something's happened. Having it pop up over here, like with the rest of the journal stuff, I feel like that would be super useful. Personally, it looks like somebody is pregnant and they want us to get a few things. Let's go ahead and accept that. I think they just want like rags, clothes, grass, and planks. I'm guessing they're building a nursery for their child. Sure, why not? Okay, so we have more immigrants that I'm going to currently ignore. And looks like we still have a food issue. Now, one of the things, like I said, is there like more? Like, can I? No? Ah, cooked meat. So how do we produce cooked meat? That's a good question. Is that something here? Meat in batter. How do we produce cooked meat? Because that is something a little different, because we have a ton of meat but we do not have a way to cook it, and I'm actually rather confused because I'm hovering over things and it looks like there's nothing to really produce that. There is the bakery, which I think would actually be really useful here. It's got a back door. Let's put it here. But it will create meat and batter, and bread, so that'll be really good for us. So we're gonna need that. But like I said, do you guys not? I don't see cooked meat anywhere. It's not created at the campfire. Yes, it is. So that's where they're grilling meat. Okay, so they are actually using the meat. Interesting. Okay, so it is being produced. It's just being produced really freaking slow. And I'm guessing everybody's still upset because we're at rank 3 at this point. We do not have all the items that they want. I'm sure they'll get over it. Or maybe they won't. I'm not entirely sure. Just gonna continue on here for a moment. I'm hoping they're working on all of this. The tailor shop and the bakery. Let's just fast forward a little bit and we'll see if we can get through the second winter without losing everybody this time. Alright, so we've actually finished exploring the tablelands, and we can actually go here now. So you can actually click on their map to actually go there. And you can see how they've got things running. As you can kind of see, they're doing a lot better than we are. They've got a couple different huts, much more food areas. I think that's something that we need to take into account. But one of the things that they have that we don't are copper deposits. And that's something that we need to keep in mind, because that's how we're going to get copper, is going to be through these guys. Now over here on the right, you can actually see like, you know, you can transfer people and goods between maps, and you have diplomacy. So what I want to do is I want to set up a trade agreement with these guys. It's going to cost us 10 water, which we have plenty of, so it should be fine. And eventually we want to invite them into, actually, let me show you. We can eventually unlock the right of way, free trade, settlement rights, which allows us to settle on their land, collaboration, which allows us to work together, and joining our faction, which is going to cost quite a bit, but we will eventually want to do that. Just not right now. And actually, since we're sitting here, let's go ahead and build some more areas where we can have some of those farms. All right, and actually that was really quick. We got the trade agreement, so now we can unlock right of way or free trade. So in order to do this, we have to pay so much. Like here it says it takes 100 bread, this one takes 100 water. The other thing we can unlock is this other location up here. So let's go ahead and do that so we can kind of see what we've got. I'm gonna go ahead and let everybody just do their thing for a moment. Oh, we have another task. Fluffy friends. Okay, a child wants some milk or something. So let's go ahead and give that to him. I don't know if there's any like real downside to turning down quests or not. I'm not sure. And it looks like we gave them milk. And let's see, the child places a small bowl of milk in front of a shrubbery. And then after a while, some kittens venture out of the shrubbery and then one after the other and hesitantly begin to drink the milk. How cute. Some of the tasks don't really seem to do anything, so honestly, I'm not sure, you know, what's the point of doing that, other than the fact that they're cute. Let's go ahead. Oh, this place isn't done yet. They still need branches up here? Okay, let's do a couple other things while we're waiting. I'm gonna create some mud roads through here. So what's gonna happen is it's actually gonna create a bridge up here. Cat stealing from Simple Barn, probably milk actually. And we have found the hills. We have somebody who's upset again, I'm guessing. That sounds about right. What else do we have? We got the stuff for the pregnant woman, so that's really good. But let's go take a look at the hills. So this one, oh, is there no village here? I'm not really seeing anything. Just looks like hills to me. All right, well, what do they have here? Looks like they have tin deposits. Just a lot of supplies that we might need. Okay. Now it looks like we can also unlock some of these other locations. So let's try one more just to see if there's anything else there that we've ever seen before. We're probably going to lose some people. I'm seeing like food being a major issue. Let's take a quick look at the census. What's up here? Let's go ahead and hunt some of those rats because there's a lot of them. Red deer, rats. Looks like everything else is kind of low, so we'll go ahead and do that. Make sure that this doesn't hit 0. It's kind of my biggest concern. Though it looks like we're doing okay. Oh, and the gatherer shack up here has been created. So let's see. I don't know if we have any employees for up here. It's gonna be the big question. Okay, looks like Philip at least has some time to work up there. So that'll be good. That'll give us some extra food. It's like we have another task. Poor lumberjack. Oh, I'm gonna go ahead and just accept. I'm not gonna read all that. I know I've seen all of these quests before, so I'm just gonna accept it for now. Like I said, from one of the things for those requests, I'm not sure if there's like a reason for them or what. An icy wind whistles through the houses of the town and the people's clouds of breath seem thicker than usual. A good supply of firewood and warm blankets are indispensable. So it's colder than usual this year, which is a big problem. And in fact, it looks like we've got a problem with this person who they are very cold. They're probably gonna die. Oh, we lost Dennis. Okay. Well, that sucks. I think we're gonna lose another one. It looks like. Yeah, and they're ill. So that doesn't help. Probably because they're freezing. Well, let's just see what happens. Yep, there's another one. We lost another person. Well, I guess that means we have more immigrants that we can invite in. That seems so mean. Gonna go ahead and just let this run for a minute. Oh, it looks like we finally have some immigrants. Let's go ahead and invite a couple different people. I mean, good luck, guys. And let's see where we're at the end of winter 2. We discovered the mountains. Oh, hey. So let's go ahead and go check this out. So looks like we got the mountains here. It doesn't really look like there's any place here either. No, like, town. But this place does have iron deposits. So there you go. It was worth checking this out so you can kind of see where the supplies are. It's a little different in each region. Yeah, this place has iron, so we're gonna have to eventually make, well, we not make friends, but we can actually travel here, I believe. I think we can actually figure out a way to do that. I think through transferring you can send people to the hills or the mountains in order to start building up those areas and having different supplies. So that's how you do that. Basically, you're running on different regions, kind of like SimCity, like the SimCity games where, which is the one? Is it 4? SimCity 4 that has like the different regions. Yeah, so you're gonna be doing stuff like that. It looks like I'd really like to get some of this done, but not today. But that is of Life and Land. It's kind of an interesting little game. I think I'm still a little confused about, you know, like how to keep all of my people around. It might take a little bit of trial and error, I think, maybe, to figure it out, because they don't seem to like take breaks and like, oh, my hit points are low. They just keep going, which is kind of confusing to me. I don't think that's exactly how that's supposed to work. You know, not having, like, the food seems to be an issue. Not that that's too unusual for the first few years. I think, like I said, I think Banished was very similar to this, and I feel like I had similar issues with that game for the first winter. So I'm honestly not too surprised. I think part of the challenge is, like, you set up tasks and then people do it. Kind of reminds me of like RimWorld or Dwarf Fortress, where you can't really interact with the people. They just kind of do whatever. Unfortunately, I don't know if the AI is smart enough to pick certain tasks, especially if they are injured or dying. Like, I do think they need to maybe prioritize their health a little bit better. Maybe I'm just running this a little wrongly. I'm not entirely certain. I don't mind the low poly of the game. I think it looks fine. Everything seems to be really well simulated. I didn't find any glitches while I've been playing. So it looks really good. I would probably wait a little bit until the first couple updates to pick this up, to be completely honest. I don't know what the end game is. Like, I don't know like what's going on. But if you're into this sort of game, I think you might enjoy this. Like, I've had fun playing, even if I'm like super confused, because I want to try and, you know, figure out the best way to run the game, to figure out, like, you know, this is how you play, this is how you figure out how to get through the first year without dying. That being said, it is very straightforward. It's kind of the same thing over and over and over again. You know, it's like there will always be the same events. So everything always seems to happen in a set pattern right now. I don't know, maybe a nice little bit of randomization would be really good to see in the game. I've not played with the editor. That's not something that I really want in my games. That's not my thing. But if it is your thing, then you might enjoy that. I don't know. Is there anything else I want to say about this game? I don't think so. I had a good time with this, and I played for almost an hour, and I didn't even realize I'd been playing for almost an hour. So that tells you, or at least tells me, quite a bit of how much I did enjoy this. I was kind of hoping at least one of the bakeries or something would be done before we left, but I think that's my problem. I try and build too much all at once. Everything gets spread real thin. I don't know. This might be one of those games, I haven't really played with it too much, where you have to figure out, like, you have to build multiples of things, and not just like one. Like, one saw may not be enough. You may need 2 saws. You may need multiple tailors to get what you need. I don't really know. That is something that we would need to like play with and see um, what she would need. I don't know. There's a lot to play with on this one. So I will see you guys in another episode. Like I said, thank you so much for the key to this game of life and land. I do have one other question about the everybody's looking for their place in land in their life, including the animals. That part confuses me because I haven't seen anything in here about like working in tandem with nature or like taming animals really or anything like that. It just seems like a regular city builder, so I would love to understand what the hell that means. I don't know. I also think it's really cute. And kind of a, well, it is a low poly game, so. Alright, well that's it for today. I hope you all enjoyed this, and I will see you guys next time.